says it's going live. I don't believe it's there until I see the little yellow light, but it says it is live. There it is. There's the little yellow light. Hey, internet friend. This is MagicBrad, SynergyCafe, Synergy Collaborative, and we're still talking about meditation because there's a lot involved with meditation. And I've got Mr. Damon Dickinson on here, and we're going to talk about what are the benefits of meditation. Damon, are you there?
I am here with heartmeditationforbeginners.com.
There he is. Rock and roll. So you ready to shed your wisdom on what are the benefits? I know what the benefits are because, you know...
How do you shed your wisdom? Sounds like a hairy deal to me.
That means you got too much of it. You got to share with everybody else. So you got to shed it. But you can keep it. You can duplicate your wisdom and pass it on to other people. That's what we can do. But that first thing you showed me early on to get rid of the funk, the heart meditation thing,
yes,
that's one benefit right there. You can just change your state real quick with something like that.
Right. So, you know, usually starting with the physical benefits, being in a more relaxed state, and there are time periods that they've scientifically studied that correlate to deeper and deeper states of relaxation. So I think there's a 20-minute point and a 40-minute point where we reach our deepest levels of relaxation through meditation, which allows for our autonomic and parasympathetic nervous system and our autonomic control systems to completely relax. And from there, our brains start to shift into deeper states of brainwave activity. So you've got 4 different levels of brainwave activity, beta being the most active conscious state. You've got alpha, which is the next lower state, and that's usually associated with basic states or first stages of meditation, a relaxed, easy state. And then you have theta, which again is associated with lucid dreaming, and deeper subconscious levels of consciousness. And then you have delta, which is typically associated with deep sleep, so where there's like no thought. But quite often, if and there's actually a new band of frequency that they found only within Tibetan monks. I say only, but that's at least where they had discovered it. It's called gamma, and it's like a super high frequency, like beyond beta.
Oh, that's the gamma rays. Isn't that what turned Robert Banner into the Incredible Hulk?
I don't know, but they call it the compassion state. So maybe he needed a little more gamma brainwaves to go with his gamma radiation.
Don't know. So those are the things. That's sort of the understanding of the meditation. But what are some of the benefits other than just being more relaxed?
The benefit of having a relaxed nervous system is like all the tension in our body just starts to melt away. Because that's what happens. Every thought, every event in our life, we start to hold. Like literally, our muscles in our body start to tense. Our body starts putting out cortisol and adrenaline, like we have some sort of physical threat in our environment. And so when we are able to relax through meditation, the nervous system is able to let go and reset. So we're not in that fight or flight state.
I just lightened up. Look at this. The sun just came out, so I just lightened up, and I look like
a nice light effect you got going there. It's like you went from day to night. So, and then same with the brain waves. So, you know, conscious beta waves, we can actually get really stressed out consciously if we're too much beta, because we're all thinking up in the front of our head. As you move into alpha, you're actually moving into deeper states of creativity, because you're actually bridging, when you're in alpha, bridging your unconscious and subconscious with your conscious. You're able to access and get new ideas, have a clearer thinking place, because you're not just stuck in conscious. You're not overloading your brain, because our brain can only process about 40 bits of information per second, and you're now accessing a deeper reservoir.
Are there some things that are like documented that are actual more tangibles? Granted, you can get relaxed and you can start thinking differently. Are there some?
Yeah, there's a lot of scientific. I mean, a lot of what I'm telling you with the parasympathetic nervous system, and that they have all the stats for it, like, you know, the actual brainwave states that you're accessing over time. You know, and you can see that in real time with like a neurofeedback machine where they have the sensors placed on the different parts of your head, You can tell with your heartbeat. Your heartbeat will start to synchronize and slow down and become more in rhythm. Your breathing will slow down and become more in rhythm and synchronized with your heart, and your blood pressure lowers. All of these things are measurable.
I guess what I'm getting at is, are there any studies of things where people actually noticed that their bank accounts went up because they started making more money, or they might have started to find friends and family or members are reacting differently, or are there any studies like that where a person's business turns around or something like that?
Not that I'm aware of, but we could start a project like that.
That would be pretty interesting, because there's a friend of mine, this is sort of off topic a little bit, but it's still into the mindset thing, is he was a golf pro, and he started a business helping people with their golf game. And what he ended up finding out is not only did it improve their golf game, but the reason that their golf game wasn't as good as it could have been is because there's something that was wrong in their business. And that was also relevant to something that was happening in their personal life.
Right.
Like they might not be happy with their wife and having arguments, and they might get a little warming up to the secretary or something, and all of a sudden now the golf ball starts going off into the rough.
Oh, absolutely, because golf is all about focus. It's a meditation in itself, man. So it's definitely, and other places of our life will definitely reflect we're holistic beings. So, the more, and then the other part I hadn't spoken to yet is quite often emotionally we'll start to feel more peaceful and happier. Even more directly so with the open heart meditation, which is my favorite now. We very instantly can feel a shift in our emotional state. So, fears, anger, resentment, the emotional stuff that goes on with when our thinking gets out. I mean, just driving from here to your house, I could get, stressed out. That stuff just melts away. So.
Okay, so it sounds like that's a real big factor, is the whole reduction of stress with meditation.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you don't have to do it for 20 minutes or 40 minutes in order to have those benefits. Matter of fact, I think as little as 5 minutes, you can definitely experience a difference. And in some ways, I think it can be more effective if you do more often shorter periods than sitting for longer periods of time. They both have their pluses and minuses.
Yeah, kind of like the Thai. They eat 5 times a day, small amounts, instead of big meals. Well, that was kind of a question I was going to ask, because earlier on you had mentioned something about how you can get deeper and it takes X amount of time, sometimes 20 minutes. But then there's those monks. Can't they kind of just go into a state fast in like 5 minutes?
Yeah, but a lot of it has to do with our ability to, our effectiveness, our capability based on practice. So, many of those monks have been practicing for decades. So they're able to turn it on and off. And the idea with meditation is that we're able to stay in that conscious, relaxed, peaceful, clear state all the time. It's not like we take our time and we just go and meditate for a period of time and then we come back to being stressed out again. We literally want to retrain our whole consciousness and being to be in that present, heart-centered, open, blissful state no matter what we're doing. At work, kids, driving the car, which is still my big testing point. I can always tell from 1 minute to the next when I'm driving my car how good I'm doing.
The road rage thing?
A little bit. There's this conversation. Even though I'm not raging, I still have this commentary going on in my head, but everybody else is driving. So.
Well, I had it this morning. I was, I told you I was having some email issues, and you know how some of those help desks, those support places aren't very supportive.
Right.
They seem more like they're dodging the issue than they are trying to be helpful, and I started getting. Finally, I just hung up and decided to figure something else out.
Sure.
But now I got to meditate and get pieced out.
Right.
Okay, is there anything that you want to say to summarize? Maybe run down a bulleted list of the benefits?
Yeah, so physically we can feel more relaxed. Can help balance our blood pressure. It can help balance our overall adrenaline, cortisol, blood sugar levels by staying in meditation, practicing meditation. We can be clearer in our mind, more creative in our minds. And emotionally, we can feel much more peaceful and happy in our life. And the more that we practice it, the more that becomes the more consistent and predominant state over whatever condition we were in before we started.
Exactly. Like there's my friend Patrick, he meditates a real lot, and he's always in a good mood. You don't really see him raging much. Once in a while, but
Well, I mean, we're all human. We're all capable of it, you know.
Yeah, you push those buttons.
Yeah.
Well, that's it then. We've got more of this stuff going on meditation, and we'll close this one out. So I appreciate you again taking the time, and if you want to get a hold of either of us, we've got our little website-y things on there, and you got the good old internet. You can just Google Damon Dickinson with an I, Dickinson, and MagicBrad, GUDIM, you'll find me. So peace, love, and happiness. Damon, appreciate your time.
Peace,
and
brother. Always a pleasure. Look forward to more.
Okay, bye.